Hello, everybody, and welcome to another E3 recap. It's the Ubisoft conference, and we're starting this one off with the dance number featuring the very talented dancer Rename.
Yeah.
Let's let's see your moves.
uh, it's all in the head. Can you see it?
No, not
It's
at
all
all.
head
Now I
movement.
just see your body. That's
It's a lot of feet movement, a lot of head. Can
okay.
you
A
see?
lot of back and forth. That's very good. Very good. All right,
There it
and
was.
the also the outrageous dance moves of Bonesaw.
Hi. Uh, it's all in the head.
See?
It's all in the head. You guys are
The new
cheating.
craze.
I give that a better score than I give the Ubisoft dancers anyway. So there you go.
Thank God.
We don't have a marching band here, so we can't kick off the show appropriately. But we will be here to talk about everything we saw in the Ubisoft conference, and we'll go ahead and start off with we can just get it out of the way. Quick and painless. The opener, the Ubisoft conference, exactly what you expect. The outrageous costumes, the marching band. And they walk onto the stage for Just Dance, and they break out into their annual dance number. What score out of 10 would you give this performance, Bonesaw?
Actually, I think I was still in the car driving back home when this happened, so I didn't see it.
You are a lucky man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now the rest of us had to see it, unfortunately. Rename, did you see this dance number?
Yeah. I always forget Ubisoft does dance games, so I'm always very confused when they start. I always think it's going to be some sort of sequel to Major Minor's Magical March or whatever that game was that was released for Wii ages ago. And then it goes on for like 5 minutes, and then they just say Just Dance, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, Just Dance.
Reminder that it exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the very least, it was at the very start of the conference, and we got it out of the way, and there was no kind of awkward middle section of the conference. But yeah, I thought the goofiness was almost behind us last year. They seemed to get rid of that at the conference, and they brought it back. It was in full swing here. The costumes were outrageous. The marching band marching down the aisles. So okay, so Just Dance 2019, it's a thing, of course, and let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we get to see the real opener, in my mind, to the conference. We saw the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer, and again, this was a game that was shown to us last year, and here we're kind of expanding on it a little bit more. We're starting to see, a little bit of a deeper glimpse into the world, and the big reveal, of course, at the end there with Jade. So, what did you think about this trailer, Beyond Good and Evil 2 rename?
I think this is when I started to really recognize the third theme of E3, which is, aside from loot boxes and battle royale jokes, is just trailers that look incredibly good. Because like every trailer I see, for the most part, like 80% of them have just looked incredible, this one included. Like, it makes me want like a movie that looks like what they showed here, because the cinematic looked crazy. But like halfway through, I'm always like, oh yeah, this is just a cinematic, so I'm not really getting much out of this. I guess the reveal at the end of Jade being a baddie was pretty cool. Wasn't really expecting that. But then, of course, I forgot it was a prequel as well. So I guess they have a lot to work with there. But they ended it with in-game footage video. So, I mean, that's something at least. So they didn't tease us with just a cinematic. So, I don't know. It was pretty good. I enjoyed the Beyond Good and Evil 2 segment overall.
Yeah, I was glad to see that they opened with this, because I know this is a game that got a lot of buzz last year when they brought it back, and just kind of firing out the opening minutes of the conference here with the trailer and then the pre-alpha footage, and then not only that, but we get this behind closed doors demo. Apparently, there's going to be a behind closed doors demo. You don't hear those words very often anymore at E3.
No.
I mean, obviously it still exists, but I just feel like nobody says behind closed doors, and they don't want you to hear that at a conference. So I was surprised, but glad to hear that there's going to be some sort of demo for the press as well.
Definitely.
And before they leave the stage for the end of that, we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt walk out on the stage.
Yeah.
Are you guys
a real surprise?
Are you guys fans of Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Sure.
I love Joseph.
Did either of you watch Third Rock from the Sun?
Seen like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I
Alright.
think I've seen.
Oh god.
I couldn't escape the feeling. I was just like, when I saw him on stage, I'm like, what's Tommy doing here? But
Oh my god.
yeah, so we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt walk on the stage, and apparently he's now working for this company called Hit Record, and they're basically allowing artists of all kinds, murals and composers and all kinds of things to submit and collaborate on the artwork and the music that's going to be in the game. What do you think about this rename?
It seemed like a pretty cool concept. I mean, just out the gate, I don't think they went into too much detail. Hopefully, I didn't just gloss over it, but it seems sort of like it could be like dynamic artwork that's changing in game, more than just artwork, but music. But that's like community driven. So maybe you'll be in a city and there'll be like graffiti or something, and it's actually something somebody in the real world has made that through this hit record or whatever program, I guess like people vote on or whatever, and then it's just put in to the game and it changes. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, they didn't go into too much detail, but conceptually it seems like a really cool idea. I'm just interested to hear more how it'll work.
Yeah, a little bit of details given in the conference, but not too many. Bonesaw, what do you think of the idea of companies doing something like this, where they're going to basically ask the community to make art that's going to be shown in the game and potentially the music too? Do you like the idea, or do you think they should be doing it?
Actually, I think it's a fantastic idea because, I mean, if you are like a content creator, an artist in that regard, and you definitely want to create something for your favorite game, like fan art or something like that, and you can actually send it into the developers and actually have it showcased in the video game, I think that's a great idea. I mean, it only begs the question, like, is this the big ol' for exposure sign or something like that? I don't know how it's going to work. Like you said, rename conceptually, it seems like a great idea. They have the ability to maybe keep the submissions going, send in more artwork even when it's out, so that they can keep changing it over time, which would be a pretty cool idea. I think it sounds pretty great. I would like more information on how it's actually going to work.
Yeah, and I'm curious how involved it will be. If it's just going to be like the graffiti throughout the world, or is it actually going to be major? I mean, the piece that we saw on stage there, it looked like it was just going to be a poster that was hanging off of one of the buildings, or some segment of a building itself. So it doesn't look like you're drastically shaping the world, but you're adding some kind of color to it. So I like the idea. Yeah, we'll see what they do with that. And if you guys wanted to look up more information about that, if you happen to be an artist or a composer or whatever, and you want to participate, the website was hitrecord.org. And apparently they do lots of other projects too. This is their first video game. So that being said, I was really excited to see Beyond Good and Evil 2 looking good. I don't know, not quite ready to say anything about a release date or anything like that, but some pre-alpha footage, it was looking pretty good. And as they're walking off the stage, this is when Ubisoft is Ubisoft, and the hot mics are still present, and we get to hear this. I like this.
Yeah, there were a lot of hot mics during their conference, man. It happened like 3 or 4 times, I want to say.
It did happen quite a few times during that entire thing.
Yeah, they seem to just let the microphones flow, which I thought was great, because everybody had a comment immediately as they're off the stage. And I don't know, like I did a little bit of stage stuff in like high school, and that was like the first rule. It's like, don't say anything when you walk off the stage, because your microphone might still be on. And I think we heard that a couple of times here, but we got some good ones. So anyway, that was the end of the Beyond Good and Evil opener, and then we hear about Rainbow Six Siege, and I want to know what you guys think. Fact or fiction? Rainbow Six Siege, 35 million players. That's what they claim. Renamed. Are you buying that?
Fact. I mean, if you install the game and load it up, that's probably counting as a player, right? And they're
I
not saying
suppose by
like
their
players
numbers,
that
yeah.
have played over 100 hours just have opened it at all. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Bonesaw, do you like this number 35 million for Rainbow Six Siege?
Where do they get these numbers, man? I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying into the whole 35 million players. It's an impressive number, but it seems unlikely to me. But in any case, we have the Rainbow Six Siege presentation, and this is also I'm going to double this as the esports presentation of the day. As that's basically all they talked about was, hey, you know, this is an esport, it's popular. We've got pro league stops in Paris and Brazil and Montreal, and apparently we've also got a documentary. Are you going to watch the Rainbow Six Siege documentary, Bonesaw? Does that interest you?
Oh, I'm so there, man. Got my pre-order movie ticket already here. I'm ready to go.
Oh, nice. It's going to be in theaters?
I hope so. Otherwise, this ticket is a sham.
It's true.
Rename. Are you getting opening night tickets?
Yeah, if only for the fact that, I mean, it took probably a lot of courage to do the first ever, as far as I know, documentary reveal at an E3, right? Has there been other big documentary reveals at an E3 in the past?
I can't think of any
I
right
think
off
they
the
should
top
be
of my head.
rewarded with that. No one has announced a documentary at an E3 before.
You can win E3 by doing what nobody has ever done before and reveal a movie at an E3.
That's true. That's true. They did it. They earned my ticket.
They've done it.
Yeah, the Smash documentary skipped E3. They didn't need that.
No, it's too good. It's way too good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was a little taken aback by how much emphasis they put on Rainbow Six's esports scene. I guess that's not a game that jumps to my mind when I think about esports, but apparently it's
the
very
biggest
popular
esports team in the world.
That's
Apparently,
true. They said that.
It's been around for like six pro leagues. Apparently, I've never heard of it, but it's been around for a long time.
I mean, I certainly knew it existed. I just didn't know that it existed to this extent. So
no, did anybody think that any of these tournaments that everybody's been talking about, this entire thing, have actually existed for more than like 5 years?
All right, I'm gonna have to stop this before it turns into young Kiv hate again. I can't.
Oh no,
he's my boy.
I was waiting.
Damn that kid!
Don't make fun of young Kiv. All right. So anyway, up next we had Trials Rising on the stage, and what do you guys are you fans of the Trials series?
I am.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play it. I haven't yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll play the newest one when it comes out. But it's a series I like. I don't know, like twice a year. I'll look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, I should play that. It looks fun, but I never do. So I don't know. Maybe after this year, I'll try it out.
I really enjoyed the crashes that we saw all throughout this. I thought that the montage at the end when they had sort of, you know, it was just each bike flipping in the air and it's playing the song very slowly and it looks very graceful, and then all of a sudden it's like crash, you know, wrecking ball knocks the guy off, and another guy is just getting impaled by like a construction grate, and I don't know, it was I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I try to be, I don't know, it's sort of natural for me at this point, I guess, to be a little cynical during these, but I haven't found myself enjoying that towards the end. Like you said, just it seemed like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we did get one of these moments though. This is an E3 moment here. I felt like I had to share this as well. We had a YouTube guy on the stage.
I'm a YouTube creator.
Yeah, that's right.
Was he there? I don't remember.
Not him in particular, but I just like the quote. I think it's appropriate. Yeah.
Okay.
The University of Trials YouTuber was there to explain how to play Trials.
Yeah, you like press up and you try not to fall off.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
Dang, they could have paid you to do that. What the
Yeah,
heck?
man. Where's my check?
You got to apply, man.
Oh man, this sucks.
Yeah, so it sounds like that's coming out on all major consoles February 2019. They're having a closed beta later this year, trialsgame.com. And I don't know, visually I liked it. I mean, I've always liked that Trials style. And I just think the crashes look fantastic, which is really what the game is all about. So,
yeah.
Trials Rising. what we're looking at there.
They dropped a little mention to speedrunners too. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I wrote that down. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they said they had a team of like 20 or so players that were helping them develop it, and it was from, like different creators and speedrunners, and so it's kind of cool that they're bringing in these different styles of play to help them make Trials what it is.
Yeah.
So then we go and we see the Division 2 come onto stage, and we knew they'd be going big on Division 2 this year, really trying to sell this game to people. And we kind of hear a little bit more about the story than we heard in the Microsoft conference. And we actually find out, it's like 7 months after this smallpox has been spread to everybody on Black Friday, which, by the way, this is why I shop online for Black Friday.
It's true.
Did you hear the lore behind that, though, with smallpox released on dollar bills? And I was like, oh, man.
Yeah,
that's the way to get America, man.
That's
right
pretty
there.
intense. Yeah, I was that's rough.
I feel like Amazon should have like sponsored the first game or something, knowing that, that would have been like the greatest little crossover right there.
Yeah.
The biggest advertisement to never go in person shopping.
Amazon destroys America.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're actually right now, as we speak, doing a kind of a deep dive into the gameplay. We saw a little bit of the gameplay in the Microsoft conference as well. But here they actually were plugging some of the other things that they wanted to announce, including 8-player co-op raids for the Division 2. I think prior to this, we were only at 4.
Mm-hmm.
4 players for most of the content. So they're saying end game raids for 8 players. And then 3 DLCs in the first year. And each of these is going to be an episode with more story, more areas, more activities. And they're all free. Were you expecting free DLC from Ubisoft?
No.
I wasn't expecting it, but I was talking with, I think, Darkman about it. And we both said, like, this pretty much has to be free. And luckily they did announce it was free, like, pretty much right after we said that. So they knew what they were doing as far as that goes.
Yeah, free for everybody. So that's pretty cool. And they're really pushing these betas too, letting people play a little early. But it is going to be a while still. This is saying March 15th, 2019 for the release date, and you can register for the beta now. So I'm assuming that's coming up pretty soon. But yeah, I don't know. I still am intrigued by this game. I know everybody else that's been in the call has seemed to be kind of whatever. They're not really buying into it too much, but I think maybe it's just the story. I don't know. I'm intrigued by the idea.
Yeah, I played a lot of Division 1. I went like really hard into Division 1. I probably played it for like a month, almost every day with a couple of my friends. So I kind of got burnt out on it there. I'm hoping there's more content in 2, because in Division 1 it was fun, but there just wasn't a lot of content there. So like once you did everything for the first time, it slowly just sort of became repetition. And another issue I had with it was the environment. It was a whole destroyed city, but the problem with that is it's a destroyed city, so pretty much no matter where you go, it all looks the same. So I don't know if they can change that up this time. Maybe it'll be better. It does look better from what I played at Division 1. I'll give them that. I'm just not sure. I got kind of burnt out on Division 1. Not sure if it'll be enough to bring me back. We'll see.
Interesting. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll see. It's still a ways away too, so I'm sure we'll hear some more about it in the coming months. And we'll also hear about it as he's walking off the stage, because this was our second hot mic of the day. Listen to this one. I really like this.
I'm so sorry. I did not know they had changed your entrance. So
it changes every day. Every second it changes.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
You could tell when he walked out on stage to give the intro to Division 2, something wasn't quite right. Like he had something in mind that he was going to say, and it just didn't match with like maybe what the teleprompter said or something. So that was interesting. So he walks off the stage, and then we get a musical performance for the Mario and Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure, which is coming out in just a couple of weeks here. And Grant Kirkhope and Donkey Kong, and all of this taking place on Ubisoft's stage. What did you think of the musical performance we saw there?
It was pretty good. I mean, that was our 5th musical number of E3 so far. I would say it was the best one out of all of them.
We haven't even had Sony's conference yet. That's going to be like a half-hour, musical orchestral work They always seem to do something like that now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I seem to like this one. It was one of those things I mentioned earlier where I started off, I was like, oh god, another musical number, and it had everything working against it. But I don't know. It built up. I was enjoying it at the end. Maybe it was Guitar Girl's power stance that won me over. She was rocking a hard power stance. But yeah, it wasn't bad.
I just get this feeling that we'll talk about this later too, but it seems like Ubisoft just really is trying to acquire Nintendo. That's what I feel like. It's like they just want all of these, like one character at a time. We're gonna slowly have some partnership. So the Donkey Kong DLC to Mario Rabbids. I love this game. I think it's great. I'm excited to play the DLC when it comes out. But I thought the musical performance was a lot of fun and kind of unexpected at the Ubisoft conference of all places. So I really enjoyed kind of hearing some of those traditional Donkey Kong themes. The one thing I would say, and I know there's people out there that are going to hate this opinion because you're not allowed to hate on the Rabbids, but why were the Rabbids making sound effects during the Donkey Kong music? I wanted to hear the Donkey Kong music.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice
I was waiting for Sticker Brush Symphony to start up, and they didn't.
Didn't give you Sticker Brush, yeah.
No.
I did like when Grant Kirkhope turned to the crowd and tried to get them to DK.
Oh yeah,
Donkey Kong.
Oh, did he do that? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they were part of one of the songs. He turned to the audience and like had them sing or chant the DK Donkey Kong part during the song. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a fun surprise at Ubisoft's conference there. So, yes, the new DLC for Mario Rabbids June 26th, Donkey Kong Adventure, and I will be playing that. So, at least one of us will. All right, I'm really excited to talk about this next game because Bonesaw, I know you're a big Sea of Thieves guy, but I'm dying to know what you thought of Skull and Bones.
Dude,
the extended trailer this time.
It looks incredible. I can't wait to play it, honestly. It looks really, really good. It's like Sea of Thieves, just a little bit more realistic, man. That's pretty much all it is. I mean, the water detail is probably the same, but it looks fantastic. Honestly, every single thing that's in Sea of Thieves is in this game. Like, you can customize the ships, like especially the figureheads, actually, like on the ships. That part they specifically showed, and that's what you can actually like specifically do in Sea of Thieves is like change the figurehead and the sails and all that. So that looked pretty cool. The fortunes and stuff like that, like the cataclysm, weather, conflict, and then they showed like one of those fortunes, the favorable winds. I think that's pretty cool. Could probably like twist and turn your battles a little bit, depending on what fortune you get. The co-op looks fantastic. The crews look fantastic. I think it just looks like it's going to be a swell game for sure.
Yeah, I was really excited when they showed this last year, just because it felt like really they were going for the realism in this game, and I think that really shines through in the gameplay that we saw here, especially when you get that co-op experience. Nothing says realism like I'm in a bind, and thank God Jessica and Lucas and Dan show up just in time to bail me out.
Good old Dan.
I like the fact that they finish sinking this like armada ship, and then they have the treasure, and then they all start killing each other immediately after that.
Yeah. Who do you rely on more in one of those tight situations? Jessica, Lucas, or Dan? Rename.
Definitely not Dan. He went down quick.
Dan went down pretty quick. We can't trust Dan.
Like, he didn't do anything. He just died. That's all it was. But, shoot, I don't know. Which one was not the tank. Was the phalanx? Was that the other one they said? Where you could fire like 8 cannons at once? That seemed
I think so.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about the special moves you're talking about.
Yeah, I'd rely on whoever that was. Yeah, I know it wasn't. Dan was the only one I remembered because his name had 2 N's and he died immediately. So.
Yeah, I thought this combat was really interesting. I was really intrigued by some of the special, like I think one of the ships had said it could anchor itself and then it could fire its cannons without hesitation. Yeah. I love the destruction too. I don't know if you saw, but when they fired a bunch of cannons at one of the ships and then the fire stopped for a second, you could see the holes like Swiss cheese. I mean, like there were holes in the side of the ship.
Yeah.
And gave me goosebumps a little bit. I really liked that. Any other thoughts on Skull and Bones here?
Pretty much just echoing what Bonesaw said. I never played Sea of Thieves. They announced both Sea of Thieves and this last year, I think. I want to say they announced them. And I think everyone is pretty excited for both of them. But yeah, this pretty much does look like an upgraded Sea of Thieves. So it does look pretty interesting. I'd like to see more just like pure gameplay of it to get a better beat of it, but it does seem really good.
Yeah.
Bonesaw, as somebody who owns Sea of Thieves, are you also planning to get Skull and Bones?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I can't get enough of that like great pirate action. I played Black Flag a lot, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I couldn't get enough of that. So now that I'm finally getting like just acquiring all of these pirate games now, I gotta have them all, man.
It's you're slowly becoming a pirate, I think.
I am becoming a pirate.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't think they gave any information about dates for Skull and Bones. If they did, I didn't catch it. So, unfortunately, I don't have any information for you on that. But it does look like a pretty sick game. So, next up, we had another celebrity appearance. We had Transference, and Elijah Wood takes the stage. And here comes funny moment number 3. I feel like I got to share this too.
In Transference, with Transference, we're bringing with Transference.
So good. He handled that so well.
He handled it so well, but oh man, what a tough spot. You're in the middle of just like using like I'm guessing the teleprompter's right there, and he's reading it, and it just goes out or something, and then it's a desperate scramble to find another teleprompter. Let's hear it one more time.
In Transference, with Transference, we're bringing with Transference.
No, it's so good.
No.
The amount of desperation in his voice.
I really enjoyed that. No.
No.
This game looks really freaky, and I think they said VR as well, so I'm terrified.
Yeah, they actually announced this last year too, and I totally forgot about it.
Yep.
I just remembered it as the Elijah Wood VR game.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the games that we heard about last year are getting carried over here into this conference, and just maybe in a little bit more detail. What did you think of the father figure that we see in this trailer here? Are you a fan of the father figure or not, Bonesaw?
I honestly, I don't even know what to make of it. Like, I kind of got like that Stranger Things sort of vibe from it. Like the father figure is trying to be the good guy, but is really the bad guy. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just really, really creepy. And the entire time I was just trying to figure out if he was like, if that was actually CGI or if that was like real footage.
Yeah, I couldn't decide if that was a real person or not.
I think it was real, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it was like actually film, like not CGI.
Yeah, I think it was at least.
Yeah, I think it might have been, just because I know they especially like Elijah Wood, they're talking about like integrating film with games, so it wouldn't surprise me.
That's what I thought, and when they went to the game footage, they like actual graphics in it weren't that good. Right. Like they weren't super realistic.
Yeah, and there was a clear distinction between like, okay, this part looks like the movie, and this part is the part I'm playing.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, Brosentia tweeted out, like, it was, Elijah Wood is making a $2 Steam Greenlight game.
In Transference, with Transference, we're bringing
No.
Yeah, so we get the date for that one as well, fall 2018. So let's see. What do we have after Transference as well? We also had, this was a good one, Starlink Battle for Atlas. So this trailer starts off innocent enough, and then it goes down the road of the Skylanders, and it starts wanting you to purchase your ship and attach it to your controller. And it just seems like, okay, you're heading down that route. But then a guest appearance rename. Were you expecting this guest? And tell us who it was.
Are you talking about Star Fox or Miyamoto?
Both, I guess. Yeah, Star Fox and Miyamoto.
Sorta. I mean, not Star Fox specifically, but I mean, as soon as it cut to that one shot where she's staring at that green screen, I'm like, all right, here's where we get our cameo. And I wasn't expecting anything big, but then I heard that brap, 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 and I was like, what? Why is it Star Fox? And then I was like, it can't be him. And then it showed up and it was him. And I'm like, Star Fox fans have to be mad right now, right? Like, this is their crossover? I don't get it. But I don't know. It's a very confusing time for me. I can't imagine Star Fox fans are like, yeah, Starlink crossover. You know?
I mean, after Star Fox Wii U, I think they'd take anything at this point, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I think this was really surprising to me. I mean, at first I kind of wrote this game off as we're going through this trailer, and I wasn't very invested in it. And then we get the guest appearance, and all of the Star Fox feels start coming, and kind of overtaking what I've just seen. It let me forgive the whole like toy modularization, like buy a bunch of these things and piece them together, because I guess it's just power of Nintendo. It swayed me. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's part of Ubisoft's plan to slowly take over like all of Nintendo. They've got Mario and Rabbids, and then now Donkey Kong's in there, and now Star Fox in this Starlink game. So which guest character is going to be at Ubisoft's conference in 2019? You have any ideas? Rename?
It's probably got to be another Nintendo character.
Yes.
That's my point. I'm saying who are they taking over? Who are they taking over next?
I mean, it's getting ahead of the game a little bit, but I was honestly expecting Link to show up in the For Honor thing they were teasing. Despite at the rate things were going, I was like, for sure Link was going to show up in there.
That's a good point. I think you're onto something there. Okay, Link in For Honor. It's a pretty good guess. Bonesaw, do you have a guess?
Oh man. I was just thinking like maybe just throw Fire Emblem in space or something like that. Just go for it. Just make something totally crazy. Just kill every single Nintendo character for me. Just throw it into a whole new game. I don't care. Just do it. Go ahead.
I'm fully expecting Smash 5 to be like a partnership with Ubisoft at this point.
Probably will be. I would not do it.
Yeah. So anyway, the Starlink Battle for Atlas, October 16th on all platforms, but if you want the Star Fox crossover, you got to play it on the Switch. So take that, other consoles.
Real quick, actually.
Yes.
What stream were you guys watching on?
Twitch.
Okay. Did you, at the beginning of the Starlink thing, there was like some little glitchy thing?
Oh, yeah.
The stream?
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like another transference bleeding or something. I was like, what?
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was actually intentional.
I didn't notice this. Okay, so I must have missed this.
No, it went to like the colored screen and everything, like the colored splash screen and stuff, and all the audio disappeared. And
yeah, it was really strange. It was more than just like a stream hiccup. Like you said, it like cut at those little like blocks of colors they cut to when there's like a broadcast error or something. I was like, whoa, are we getting some other tie-in or something?
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah, I completely missed that. So,
but no, I had thought because of like Devolver and all that maybe it was going to be like that, and it just wasn't intended at all.
Nina didn't show up and start murdering people.
No, I thought somebody was going to like explode, or there was going to be blood.
Your hard-earned money.
There she is.
Go back and scum through it. Maybe there's a frame of just her face like splashing up there real quick. I don't know, man.
Yeah, just one frame, one little frame, all that subliminal messaging from Devolver.
So I don't know what was going on there, but I guess you guys were more observant than I was. So I don't know. I mean, with this whole like the toy element, attaching it to the controller, I'm not a big fan of that. But Star Fox, maybe it justifies it. I don't know. I'm not completely sold on this game yet. Still. Anyway, let's move on and talk about the next game here. We have For Honor getting a showcase, and they mentioned that for this week only, you can get it for free, the starter edition for free on Uplay, and they've also got new content coming in October. This Marching Fire expansion or DLC or whatever it might be. Are any of you For Honor players?
No,
I'd never heard of it until this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have heard of it. I just not a game that I've played.
No, me neither. I've heard of it a bunch of times, but I've never even touched the game.
Yeah, so I guess we won't be much help here as we talk about this one, but they did say that there's 4 new fighters coming to the game. Single player content going to be added in October as well. And then this 4v4 castle siege mode, which sounded interesting, but then when they went to show it, it really wasn't gameplay. It was more of just like a trailer that was supposed to maybe describe to us what the gameplay was, but I really didn't figure it out. I mean, do you win by just busting into the castle, or did you guys get a better sense of what was going on there?
I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I just know that the trailer looked pretty cool, and the fact that the person who was doing all the killing was like this gorgeous knighted lady, and all of a sudden she's about to get murdered, and then she's just walking around a battlefield that is just seemingly stopped in time, and then she goes back to real life and just gets murdered.
Yeah.
Like, holy hell.
Yeah, that was an interesting trailer. I don't know. It was like this freeze frame of your own death. I don't know.
Yeah.
In any case, yeah, so this new 4v4 castle mode called Breach is going to be a part of that expansion, I believe, as well in October. So if you guys are interested in For Honor, the starter edition, again, free this week on Uplay, so you can check it out there. And then we get into everybody's favorite, The Crew 2.
Mm-hmm.
Bonesaw, I know you're a big fan.
Totally.
This is the only one I could not find anything to write about.
I wrote not interested as my only note, and that's it.
I normally have like a throwaway line here or there for everything. I was like, what?
I couldn't think of anything to write, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this trailer, maybe it's just the exhaustion of like going through an hour or so of content at this point, and then bust out The Crew. Like, I feel like maybe they should have busted it out earlier when we were still paying attention. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't find a lot here either. It seemed like once again, this is just a trailer that's showing us all the different vehicles we can use, and that's pretty much it. It really was
what is this about? This game? I kind of don't know what this is even about. Is it a racing game or?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, at least I believe it is anyway. I might be wrong.
I couldn't really tell from the trailer.
I think it's supposed to be like a co-op thing, right? You're supposed to like get all your friends together and make a crew, and then apparently you ride a motorcycle on top of a plane's wing.
Mm-hmm. You ramp vehicles over other vehicles. That's what it's about. Yeah.
So basically, everything that you can do with a vehicle, you do illegally in the game world. Something that you just cannot do in the real world. Okay, I get it.
All right, I think we're sold on it now.
Yep. Day one.
All right, well, because we're sold on Crew 2, we can preload the open beta right now. Because the open beta is June 21st, and the game. I was confused about this. I wanted to double check this, but they said I saw it. I double checked. June 21st for the open beta. Game available June 29th.
Wait. What?
So
really?
8-day separation?
Yeah, that's all you need.
It's pretty close together. I don't know. What if something goes wrong?
Fallout 76 beta June 21st. Whole game available June 29th. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If you put it in that regard.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's different because that's backed by Todd Howard. So I
oh my
I have
God.
my complete trust in Daddy T.
Daddy T.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, clearly the crew here is not fans of the Crew 2. But some people are, so good for you guys. That's coming out pretty soon. And then we end with an extended look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and taking place in ancient Greece. We kind of get this setting set for us. Okay, the Peloponnesian War and Sparta versus Athens, and Socrates is there for some reason. Are you going to be taking advice from in-game Socrates, Bonesaw?
It really didn't seem like he knew what the fuck he was talking about, so probably not.
No, he seemed a little misguided there. I was kind of hoping for more from Socrates.
Yeah, I was too. I was waiting for him to give me some kind of philosophical thing to go along with this trailer, but nope. Nothing.
No, I didn't like the idea of somebody lying to Socrates either, Rename.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. But he bought it. Hook, line, and sinker, man. No issues.
Now, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with Assassin's Creed, but is this the first time that you can choose whether you play as a male or female?
I believe it is. Yes.
Didn't they have that 4-player thing a while ago? I don't know. Like, I really have no idea about Assassin's Creed.
Me neither.
Okay, so we're collectively in the dark on this here.
Pretty much.
They show that you could pick Alexios or Cassandra, and you'll be playing that character, whichever you choose for the entire game. Are we impressed or just like over the idea that dialogue options are impressive at this point? Were you guys like blown away by that?
No.
It was pretty generic to me. Like that's pretty much the standard for video games now. Dialogue options. Who can I romance?
Yeah. They had that one dialogue option with a heart next to it, and I just gave a sigh.
Yep.
Gotta have
I saw that.
In there.
Yeah, I know the other thing too that I'm noticing, at least from people who were fans of it, like the really early Assassin's Creed games too, is that it seems like there's less of an emphasis on kind of the parkour of it, and it's a little bit more just about the combat itself.
Which
I don't know
is
if that's completely
terrible,
true or not, but
I think it should be more about the parkour and like taking guys out in the shadows,
Yeah.
Rather than just face-to-face battle. Otherwise, like, what's the point of even having an Assassin's Creed game?
Yeah, I mean, they went really in depth with the kind of the RPG elements here in this this gameplay that we saw. We saw like the big complicated skill tree that you can assign points to, which I mean looked really fun to kind of mess around with and seeing all the different abilities that you could use. At least I was intrigued by that part, and I thought the combat itself looked fine.
Yeah. Yeah, It looked pretty good.
Yeah. Just don't trust that Socrates, though.
No.
Yeah. So there we go. October 5th for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And wow, dialogue options. I don't know. I'm hung up on that. I just they made such an effort to say like this is a big deal for our game, but I'm not.
I'm just mad at Assassin's Creed in general because as far as I'm going to go on a little tirade, I guess here. They teased it a little bit. As far as I'm concerned, and somebody can correct me here, maybe in chat, since none of us know what we're talking about as far as Assassin's Creed go. But isn't like the main crux of the story that you're actually in the future and you're revisiting these places in your mind?
Yeah,
right?
That's what it is. That's what it's supposed to be.
So if you're in like ancient Greece revisiting in your mind, shouldn't they be able to come up with some way where you can have like mythical beasts and stuff where you're fighting those instead of just humans again and again and again? Because like all these Assassin's Creed games seem to be the exact same, just in a different setting. But if you're going through your mind, shouldn't you be able to do anything, right? The world should be their oyster. Raise the bar. Raise the gaming bar.
Wow. He's digging here.
They did, but they showed one at the very end.
Should I give it to him on this one? I feel like you got to work harder than that rename.
For what? For raising the gaming bar? Or what? I don't know what you're talking about. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just...
Quality bar and gameplay was raised yet again this year.
I guess they showed a Minotaur at the end. Maybe they raised it. But I want more. I want them fighting Medusas and Gorgons and stuff. Like, why not? You're in somebody's mind. Just say his imagination took over, right? And that's why there's all this crazy stuff happening. Instead of just dude fighting dude. You know what? I better stop now.
That was a good effort. A solid 3 out of 5, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm still not sold on Socrates. I think Socrates needs to step up his intellect to meet my expectations.
Oh, for sure.
In the real game. So maybe they got a little time to tweak that. All right, so that was the end of the conference. A lot of games shown here, about an hour and a half or so of content out of this conference. I'd love to know your report card here, starting with Bonesaw. Did you have expectations going in? Were they met? And what is your letter grade?
Well, Ubisoft is just, I don't know, man. It's one of those conferences that I don't really pay attention to it, really. So I really had no expectations at all. I mean, I've been saying that this entire E3 that I've really had no expectations whatsoever going into any of these. But Skull and Bones definitely looks incredible, but it's kind of biased only because like I play Sea of Thieves a lot. Trials looks pretty, and I like it. What else? I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of famous people there, I guess. I mean, some of the famous people who should be good at memorizing lines didn't. Oh my god.
I just want to go. I want to go watch Third Rock from the Sun after this. I haven't seen that show since I was like 6.
Transference looks pretty cool. I don't know. A lot of famous people. Music. I don't know. Did they do it? Maybe. I don't know. My expectations were just kind of all over the place after all that.
All right, what's your letter grade?
My letter grade, huh? I'd have to go with maybe a B.
All right, solid B. Solid.
I'll
B.
go with a solid B.
All right, that seems reasonable. Rename. What were your expectations going in? Did they meet them? And what is your letter grade?
I really had no expectations. I had to like keep looking at what Ubisoft offers to remind myself what they could show. So, but even with that, I still feel underwhelmed. I mean, maybe if I was super into anything they showed, like if I was into Skull and Bones, I would probably like it a lot more. I don't know. They didn't really show anything that made me go like hell yeah or anything. You know, like Beyond Good and Evil was cool, but it was just a cinematic. I don't know. I was still underwhelmed even with no expectations, so I'm gonna have to give Ubisoft the D. Again, a bit
Whoa!
the D.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I think that's the lowest grade we've had all week.
Yeah, that's right.
And we had EA on day 1.
Yeah,
I like EA more than this. What can I say?
You're saying
Whoa.
that is controversial. I like that.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Say that
that's
one
the
more, say
hot
that one
take.
more time. One more time.
Hot take.
I liked EA more than Ubisoft's press conference at E3 2018.
All right, there you go. Somebody clip it. We're gonna need that on tape. I think that's the best quote of the recap
Oh
show
my
so far.
god! I can't believe it. Ubisoft, you should be ashamed of yourself.
They
That's-
should. They should.
wow.
I know I sound very cocky, but I can't help it because it's true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Man. Yeah, so I will say this. Ubisoft is always a wild card because sometimes they come out and they just meme for the entire hour and it's a total mess. And other times they meme for like, how long do they meme for this time? Like 15 minutes? I don't know. They do goofy stuff. They like to have fun at their conference. Sometimes it's just so completely over the top that I get turned off by it. I don't like want to watch it. But like they got the Just Dance out of the way at the start, so that was whatever. I liked seeing Skull and Bones again, getting to actually see some gameplay of the combat in that game. I think that's looking pretty good. I don't care about the Rainbow Six Siege numbers. Trials looked good. Division 2, I still think it looks good and people aren't giving it the credit it deserves. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I mean, that was cool to actually see them put that so high up in their conference. For me, I was excited to see that they're kind of all in on that game and trying to get the community involved too. Other stuff, I don't know that I was completely thrilled about anything else that was shown. The annual Assassin's Creed doesn't really do much for me at this point. And Starlink, I didn't care about the game, but then they said Star Fox, so I don't know that I still care about the game, but another Nintendo character there. So I'm kind of with you guys. I think, well, at least with Bonesaw, I don't know. I'm not as harsh as Rename, but I think solid B. I think the games they showed were fine. Just kind of wanted a little bit more actual gameplay. A lot of these were just kind of extensions of last year's trailers. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting with it. I think B
A
is
D?
B.
A D though?
Yeah, a
A
D.
D?
Rename.
For real?
Yeah, you guys are being too easy on him.
Come on, man. How could you not like? Did you not see like Oscar nominee like Gordon Levitt up on stage? Inception's Pretty Boy.
I sort of wanted to up
And
into a C.
transference. And with transference, we're bringing a. No. With
I want to make it a C just for the no, but I won't. I won't do it.
No.
Just for the no.
No. When he came up on stage, people in Twitch chat were like, "Oh, it's Harry Potter guy." I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Got
So
the
close.
fantasy mixed
Oh,
up.
man.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood's Darkest Hour is what that game should be called.
Man. All right. Well, anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. That is the end of our Ubisoft recap. We're going to upload this to YouTube as well. If you guys want to watch any of our other recaps, you can go to youtube.com/goldensrl. You can see all the ones we've already done, as well as the ones that we're going to be doing coming up here. We still have Sony and Nintendo tomorrow. Sony tonight, Nintendo tomorrow, I should say, so that you don't get confused. So we'll be doing those two. And yes, they'll all be available again on the YouTube page. So definitely check that out. Any final Ubisoft thoughts before we go? I know Bonesaw, you've always got something to say.
I always have something negative to say. I'm just gonna go out and say it, but Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure, Jesus, what a fucking title that is. God damn it.
All right, that's yeah, okay. Rename
There we
anything
go.
you want to say?
Nah, I've already said too much. I think Ubisoft is gonna have a word with me after this. I think I'm good.
Okay, well, on that note, I think we will say thank you all for watching the Ubisoft recap here, and we'll see you later tonight after the Sony conference or the Sony recap. We will see you then. Have a good one, everybody.